Welcome to Vnfiniti,
the podcast where we talk
and you listen.
We're your hosts, Ashley,
And Tori, welcome to Vnfiniti,
the podcast where we talk
and you listen.
We're your hosts, Ashley. So, today I want to talk about something that I feel like every Black woman has experienced in some type of setting. And just like is a more recent thing for me is I can express or can show a concern in the workplace, and automatically I am met with defense. And I think a lot of it is people feel like I concerned in a work setting. So I guess it's like, as hard as it seems, why are we always labeled as these vixens, like these angry Black women that constantly are like, pushing this attitude around. And it's not just in the workforce, it's in restaurants, or I'm getting my nails done. I'm speaking on behalf of my children. Like, it doesn't matter where we are, when we're giving ourselves a voice, it tends to always bring out this defensive alarm. And we're like, again, labeled as the angry Black woman.
That's interesting that you've had those experiences. I can say that I've certainly had some experiences of that kind. You know what? I think it comes with the territory. I think it comes with who we are. I think there's just the ongoing spirit of resistance from the other for our kind, male and female.
I can see
And
that.
I also think that there is a collective intent to silence us and to make us invisible. In your experiences, do you feel like you have, or in your past experiences, do you feel like there was a time where you just kind of like,
I'm gonna be angry.
stop voicing your, no, do you feel
like have I ever tailored? Yes. Like, I have to consciously select my words, select my tone, be aware of my body language, so that I'm not giving off any bad vibes, or anything that can be misconstrued as an attitude. And it's hard because you're trying to make sure that you're getting your thoughts across, getting your opinion across, or just speaking up. And you're having to think about all these other things at the same time. And so by the time your point is made, or your point is across, it's lost. And it's hard to have to multitask. And I know we have to, and some people may find it surprising. If you're African American, you may not. We have to play this multifaceted role. And yeah, we have to wear several different faces. So when you're changing out faces to be someone on a day-to-day basis, in your 9 to 5, the ability to have to select your language properly, and then having to add on top of that, and that goes with the 9 to 5, changing out of faces, but having to add an additional layer on top of that when you get into touchy subjects, or when you're trying to display some type of passion. And it can be anything. It can be you're making a pitch, and you can be in front of a customer, and you're making this pitch. And if you're passionate about this pitch, and you're strong-headed about your facts on a spreadsheet, and it can be a facts delivered by anybody else in the room. But if your tone, or if your
you're elevating your voice,
if your facial expressions get a little stronger to show this passion for whatever it is that you're presenting, it's not a passion. You're automatically deemed uh to be upset or coming off too strong, or um being in a situation where you're chosen to do other parts of presentations or other parts of things because of how you may come across.
Sure.
It's
You
hard.
tend to get the people rowdy. Calm down a
Right,
little bit. You know,
right, right,
you're coming off a little intense.
right. Or being in a restaurant and being afraid to ask someone to change out your meal because you don't want to make a scene. Or
Welcome to the Infinity, the podcast where we talk and you listen. We're your hosts, Ashley and Tori. Welcome to the Infinity, the podcast where we talk and you listen. We're your hosts, Ashley and Tori.
this is another one, being expected to be the one to ask the question. So being at a restaurant with everyone else and you're the token Black person, and so everyone else is expecting you
They're looking
to,
at you.
like,
Well,
yeah,
well, you are gonna say something, right? You're
right,
gonna address
you're
this,
gonna,
right? Because you're good
right,
at this kind of thing.
right, you're excellent at it. You're you do this all the time.
Y'all
I've
do.
never, yeah, I've never been out to eat with you, but I do this all the time, huh?
Sure.
So it's difficult having to fight those battles or having to be in those positions and still save face. So you still have to be like, no, I'm not upset. You have to correct people. You have to make sure they understand that, no, I don't have a problem with my meal. Or if I do have a problem with my meal, it's okay. I'm not looking for a free meal. And I'm not looking to send this back. I'm not looking to get upset or having to explain yourself before you get there.
Make
It can
others
be,
feel comfortable.
yes, just to make others feel comfortable. And it's tiresome. It's exhausting.
Sure.
Very exhausting.
Sure.
And
Just
then
trying to get others to just be okay with who you are. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to make sense to you. I don't have to, make you understand or get you to understand, but it does become a conflict within us when it is a matter of our obligations. You know what I mean? Like at work, for instance, you know what I mean? Like I
yes.
can get up and leave the restaurant. I can never return again. I can, if I've had that experience, or I can not, I can be selective about who I share with my time with and those kind of things. And I can be selective about my place of employment as well. But if this is my place of employment somewhere where I'm wanting to build, and every time I'm trying to advance, I'm having to calm down, relax. You're taking this too serious, lighten up a little bit. I don't think they meant it that way. I think it's just the way you're taking it. I think it's the, I don't know. I think it's you, like that becomes heavy and it puts you in a box. And it's certainly uncomfortable to constantly have to be selective with your thoughts and your opinions and the way you move and the way you talk. We are expressive people by nature. We're expressive people, and we move with rhythm. It's just who we are. We naturally intimidate other people. Why? I don't even know. I guess because those people haven't taken the time to do the work to become comfortable with other people, period. And I don't think that we should have to take the slight for it every single time. However, this is where we are. And so I do think that it is that we have to continue to be heard intentionally. We have to continue to interject, and say what needs to be said, whether it's received or not. And that takes courage.
It does.
It absolutely does.
It does.
But
And it's even harder when these things start to become like a thing that people praise, and not in a good way. I mean, you think about a Vixen. We've added to Vixen video. So now you have a generation of people that want to be video vixens or grew up on video vixens. And when you break that down, it's not a positive thing.
Sure.
But you've added this extra oomph or glamorized, being an angry Black woman, and not in the most positive way, because there are positive ways of people being an angry Black woman. I mean, I know we can touch on a million of them, and
because we shake
I'm
and
ready.
move.
Yeah, we shake and move.
Shake and move. We move mountains. We make things happen.
We do. I mean, angry Black women carried this country in the last election, even though it definitely didn't go in the way that we wanted. But we showed up to polls, and when we showed up to polls, we also brought people with us to show up to polls.
Absolutely.
Angry Black women were on the forefront of women's rights to vote.
Sure.
Women's suffrage. Angry Black women were a woman. The angry Black woman was the first Black woman to run for, or first woman to run for president in this country.
Girl.
Hey, Soror.
We free folk, girl.
And I mean, shoot, we can get it down to Harriet Tubman status.
We free people. Absolutely.
And we also are the ones that are carrying it, and it amazes me because the same attitude that we're asked to calm down within the workplace, and the same things that we're having to do within our office settings are the same things that's driving us to be one of the highest rising demographics in the corporate America, where it's the same things that is driving us to be
in entrepreneurship.
Yes, entrepreneurs in this country. The highest rising demographic when it comes to higher education.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of hard to balance all of that when someone is trying to calm you down.
Sure.
Maybe if you next time, instead of saying it this way, maybe if you approach it in this way, in those different terms that they use behind closed doors when you're
dog whistling.
Yeah, the dog whistling terms, or the whispers that you get once everyone else has cleared the room, and someone pulls you aside in the corner. Those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And what saddens me is, outside of corporate America and outside of us returning a wrong order in a restaurant, or outside of us trying to get the best education for our children and actually showing up and being around, we have to deal with that within our own culture as well. Seen some things in the past couple of years regarding, some pro athletes out here talking about how they date outside of their race because us Black women have attitudes. And speaking with some Black men, I'm hearing that is the reason why they date outside of their race.
Mm-hmm.
And it saddens me because these are the same people that got you where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if your mom was an angry Black woman, would your coach have put you in the game? If your mom wasn't an angry Black woman, would you have gotten the grades that you needed to get in order to get into the school which got you where you are?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those kind of questions that I want to ask, like, is this the same attitude that you're speaking of when it comes to a Black woman?
Sure. I dig it. I mean, I can also even see how, we are given these titles and labels as young children, as our young girls, are also having these same challenges in the classrooms and in sports. In extracurricular activities, where they are also being labeled, that challenging teen, that troubled youth, because she's expressing herself. She is sharing her opinion, her knowledge, her concerns, her thoughts, and it's the same thing. We're just devalued. That becomes an issue, that we are devalued and labeled. And not just Vixen and angry Black woman. I mean, these labels come a dime a dozen every time you turn around.
Nasty
we're
women.
getting a label. I don't know any other group of women. Well, not just nasty. Nasty women has been
that's the newest one
to label progressive women. Period.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for us as Black women, I through my generations, I've just seen how these labels have come. And I can't, think of any other group of women, any other race of women who have to deal with the stigmas, the stereotypes, the labels, the abuse, I don't see any other group of women being subjective to that. And I don't understand, how, for one, how this is allowed, and for two, how we allow it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
From the baby mama to the single mama to the angry Black woman to the, to the, like, how does this keep happening? And
Even down to the independent woman, because now even an independent woman is getting a bad rep. Oh, y'all don't need men.
she
Like
is, isn't she? Because
it's
if you
not a
so
sense
independent, do it yourself, right,
of
woman?
right.
But
Yes.
we have. You remember when the government came in and eviscerated our communities, and we didn't have a choice but to do it on our own? This is where the independent woman came from, because you destroyed our communities. You took our men from our homes. You took our fathers from our homes. You threw drugs in the mix. You incarcerated our men
And
at,
not allow them back
three,
into
four
our
times the
homes.
rate
Yeah.
that you did any other population of men. And then you wonder how we became so angry. But yet I still make moves. There's so many in every area. We still rise and bust through the ceiling because we are angry. Keep coming for me.
Exactly. Stay angry. Stay angry.
Stay angry.
Stay angry.
That's right. Because that anger is going to fuel movement. That anger is going to move mountains.
Angry.
That anger is going to put us in the White House. That anger is going to control this nation.
And it has put us in the White House.
It has.
It has put us in the White House.
It has, because it was a Black woman behind Obama.
Yep.
Let's be clear. An angry Black woman.
Angry.
You know they label her
angry. Yes. Any facial expression that didn't have that big old smile, she was upset.
Absolutely. As beautiful and graceful as she was, as strong and determined as she was, as intelligent as she is.
Yes. I don't know whether
Dr.
to call
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, I don't know whether to call her Dr. Michelle Obama or whether
First Lady Michelle Obama.
First Lady Michelle Obama, or she also has her Juris Doctorate too as well.
Hello. I mean, let's just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's just call the queen a queen. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't heard ain't hear them label as queen yet.
No, not at all. Even when we're out here winning and breaking all kinds of records as the top tennis players in the world, let us smash our racket.
Yeah.
Compared to some of these white men that have.
Yeah.
And we're angry. We're very angry.
Absolutely. There's always
despite our accomplishments, we're very angry.
The label. Mm-hmm. Don't pay attention to the defeat.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hey, Black woman, you want to stay angry? I'll stay angry.
I am. I'm gonna stay who I am. I'm gonna stay passionate. I'm gonna stay powerful. I'm gonna stay
vocal.
I'm gonna stay vocal, confident,
and stay concerned about the people around me, especially my people around me. I'm going to keep raising those issues. I'm not going to stay silent. I'm going to still keep having those conversations. I'm going to keep pushing my way to the table and my way up.
Absolutely. Because your voice matters.
It does.
Angry Black women lives matters. Yeah. Awesome. Yes. That's good dialogue there. Definitely good dialogues. Listen, Black girls and Black women, definitely keep speaking out and speaking up. Don't be silent.
struggle with your
continue to be
greatness. Yeah, that struggle with your greatness and struggle with their own insecurities, because I think ultimately that's kind of the root of it. So stay angry, black lady, black woman, black girls, and be who you are.
Absolutely. Well said.